Hello everyone, this is Ask Cowley. Thank you ever so much for your questions. Here we go. First one, this is Gary Guinness. What's been the hardest test so far in your management career? Good question. I think ultimately you have lots of tests, lots of challenges every single day. I think the biggest would probably be the FA Cup quarter-final against Arsenal when we were at Lincoln City. We were obviously a non-league team at the time. I think the first non-league team to get to the quarter-finals in over 100 years. And we played with a 4-4-2 at the time. We had big Matt Reed who needed a forward partner with him. So we went to Arsenal and we wanted to stay true to ourselves. And we wanted to play the way that we'd been playing all season. So we went to Arsenal and we played a 4-4-2 and we pressed them really aggressively. And for 45 minutes we did unbelievably well. Had some chances, certainly got on the front foot. It was 0-0 and we conceded just before half time, unfortunately, and then the second half definitely got tougher. It felt like a long second half, Nick, didn't it?
It did, yes. It was, yeah. I've never felt so much like I wanted the game to end, I don't think. But I went into the match thinking I was really going to enjoy it, and I looked up with about 20 minutes to go. I wanted to finish because it was tough going. But our players were excellent, weren't they, in that FA Cup journey? We had some incredible times and some fantastic memories.
That what changed the game for us, Oxlade-Chamberlain got injured on maybe the 35th minute, and you never want to see an opposing player get injured. It kind of, we thought it might help us, but then they've got Arsene on. And
I think what was a particular highlight as well was after the game we got to spend some time with Arsene Wenger, didn't we, and Steve Bolton, and they were great, and you know, they gave us a good hour or so of their time, and
it's good to
pick their brains. Really interesting to listen to them as well.
Okay, question 2. This is from Callum Doust. Are you looking forward to seeing fans at Fratton Park?
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the frustrations has been for all football teams has been, with the COVID, is not being able to see the supporters, and we've all felt their absence, and the difference that they make is huge. Particularly, football's all a game driven by emotion, and it is definitely different without them being inside the stadium. And arriving to Portsmouth very quickly, you feel the importance of football, and it would be great to meet them face to face, and hopefully we'll be here for long enough to be able to see them and meet them. I've heard a lot about the Fratton end. The players have really told me how they can help suck the ball into the goal, particularly in the last 15 minutes. This season, no doubt the team would have scored more goals with the support there driving the team forward.
Okay, question 3. This is from David. Who's the better footballer? I'll answer this one. I think we both love football. We've always loved football. Our dad kind of introduced us to the game. He was a coach, so he coached to a good level. He played to a good level and then coached to a good level. He coached both mine and Nicky's teams growing up, and all of our friends really enjoyed their football, and Dad certainly always made it fun. Always made learning fun, and we had some really good teams and had some really good successes. Quite a few of the boys actually went on to play professional football. Nicky and I obviously had non-league careers and really enjoyed those. Played together at some points in our career, both played in midfield. Once my career ended, it kind of ended before I expected it to at 29. I talked Nicky into dropping a few divisions and playing for me at Concord Rangers, and I don't think Dad was particularly happy at the time that I did that, but I managed to convince him and some of my friends who had been playing at a higher level to come and play for us. And in our first season, I think we got promoted. We had a really good Vars run, and we scored 199 goals in total, and I think you scored 27 from midfield.
Oh. Maybe something like that.
We had good fun. We had good fun, and certainly from a management perspective, I was joint manager then with a guy called Danny Scopes, and who's still at Concord Rangers today, which is brilliant, and certainly wish them well in their FA Trophy adventure. They're playing at Wembley soon in that, so we'll hopefully be going to that.
We're big Concord Rangers supporters, aren't we? And
absolutely,
it'd be great to see them.
Absolutely, but no. So for us, that was definitely the start of my management journey, or our management journey. And
I always say, I think maybe I slowed us down a little bit in our management career by playing for too long. We seem to do far better when I actually retired.
We can't decide whether that was because he wasn't a very good player or a really good coach. So we're still trying to work that out. But no, we've had some good fun since you retired, for
absolutely.
sure. Here we go. Next question, Nick. This is for you. This is Ben Butler.
Right.
How did you two start working together? Do you still have arguments like brothers do? And does it affect your coaching?
Oh, I think when we start working together, I think our first actual job that we had together was probably coaching when I would have been maybe 12 or 13 at the time.
Yeah, really young. We used to run the soccer schools.
We did. We had a job working for Romford Football Club, didn't we, and coaching the community.
Yeah.
And we was working over at Upminster Park, I think it was at the time, and we had lots of children from sort of the age of 5
We used to do it
or
on
6.
Saturday morning before we played non-league football, and we started off with maybe just a group of 20, and by the end of it we had about 100, 150 kids, and we had to hire loads of coaches in, didn't we? It's really good fun.
Yeah, and I think the fact that Dad was a coach as well, and looked after our teams, he'd always inspired us really to be interested in the game, and thinking about the game technically and tactically, and that was a great opportunity for us at the weekend to maybe earn a little bit of extra money to do something that we loved doing rather than a paper round, I guess. But that sort of continued really, and later on in life we then went to teach together as well at the Fitzroy Mock School, and had a fantastic time there working with the children, and thoroughly loved our jobs. I think what was great about the PE teaching was that you got to teach all different sports and different activities, and we used to absolutely love that.
It's a great school. We used to compete sort of county level, national level, and even we went to the World Athletics Championships as a school, finished 4th in the world. I think we ended up being State Sports School of the Year, didn't we, in 2013. Just had a brilliant group of kids. Used to get them in for 7 o'clock in the morning, just after 7 o'clock, get them in, get them practicing.
Even break times, they'd literally get down to the sports hall. We'd encourage them to get their trainers on.
Practice their basketball.
Quickly grab something to eat, and then we'd be doing layups with them for 20 odd minutes, wouldn't we? And improving their basketball skills, and absolutely loved that. And then as time evolved and I eventually stopped playing at Concord Rangers, Danny and myself decided that we'd manage together, and we've had a really good time at Concord and had some good success, and then enjoyed a season at Braintree as well, which was fantastic. Met some really good players there, didn't we? And some really good characters.
Really good group, brilliant group.
And had a great season.
I just want to know if we argue.
I'm going to get to that. Yeah, I think it's a drawn out answer, but no, of course, it's important as working with Danny. I think what's key is that you always have your own opinion, and we have some pretty intense, heavy debates about football, but it's always with the intention of finding the right solutions to the problems that we face. And sometimes it takes longer to solve problems than it does other ones.
We agree to disagree at times, but ultimately what we do know from having worked so closely together for so long, normally when we disagree, it's because we're not quite at the right answer, so we have to keep finding the right, looking for the right answer.
Yeah, so I wouldn't call that an argument. I'd just call that we're just trying to figure out what the best thing is for the team and for the players.
What I like about our relationship is you can just deal in the truth. You can just say as it is. You haven't got to, we can just say what we think, and neither of us take it personally because I suppose of our relationship.
Yes.
So in my opinion, I think it helps our coaching because we kind of know each other so well because we've lived in each other's pockets that we kind of got that telepathy, haven't we?
Yep.
That I know exactly what he needs when I'm supporting him. He knows what I need when he's supporting me, and I'd like to think that's what makes it work. Move on. What's the best song / chant you've heard about yourselves? May give us some inspiration when fans are allowed back in. This is from Heather Wild. Well, what you never want to hear as a football manager is you don't know what you're doing or you're getting sacked in the morning, which thankfully to this point, 14 years in, we've never heard, which has been positive, I suppose. But no, we like the, I tell you what the Lincoln guys used to sing. They used to do, do you know the Ya Ya Toure and the Colo Toure? That was good, wasn't it?
I mean, the best songs are the ones about...
Our kids like that, don't they?
Yeah, the best songs for me are the ones about the team and the players. And, I'd much prefer our supporters and fans to be singing about good things that our players have done.
Absolutely.
And congratulating them because they're the guys on the pitch that really need it.
Good answer.
Cheers.
Charlie Hansford, he says, what's the correct way to make a cuppa?
Oh, I know this one. Let me go.
Go on.
Right. Okay, so I went during lockdown. I actually investigated this situation because I was a bit disappointed with Lauren my wife making my tea. I didn't think it was quite up to top level standard. So we looked into it, and it turns out that actually, rather than stirring the tea bag, just let the tea bag settle in the cup. 2-minute brew, it's called. Just leave it in there for 2 minutes. and then take the tea bag out, put it in the bin, drop of milk, 1 cube of sugar, 3 stirs right, 3 stirs left, you're good to go.
There you go.
Perfect.
The foundation of your leadership style is clearly motivation. What apart from your family motivates you when it gets tough? Oh wow, that's a good question. That's from Ryan.
I'm pleased I did the tea question.
I know. Well, I don't think success always happens in a straight line, and we know that. So we totally respect that there's fine lines between winning and losing, and sometimes you get on the wrong side of it. I think always you learn most about yourself in adversity. I think you always learn most about yourself when your back's against the wall. And, you know, we've learned to be really resilient and really determined. I always say this to the players, you can never beat the person that never gives up. And I think that's something that I would like to think that it's a value and a way of life that we try to live by. Next question. Oh, here we go. Who were your managerial inspirations? Dan Walsh.
Oh, I think
lots.
For us, we don't always take sort of, you know, inspiration from football. Sometimes we take inspiration from other sports as well. So growing up, Sir Clive Woodward and all of the success he had with the England rugby team would have.
So there's a good story about Clive Woodward. So we love Clive Woodward. We read all of his books. We love rugby union. Obviously, he had a big part to play in England winning the World Cup in 2003 against Australia. Just a brilliant time for English rugby. Had a huge effect on children participation in rugby, which we really felt as school teachers at the time. Loved him, hung on every word he said. I think he was the first person that really drove culture and environment within the group. And we played Burnley in the FA Cup, beat Burnley. The next day we were on a radio show in Manchester, Salford, and it's with Clive Woodward. And literally have an hour with him, kind of forgot that we were actually on air and just like picking his brains and had such a great conversation. He phoned us, got our number, phoned us after and said, look, I'm doing a piece for maybe the Mail, maybe the Times, it was a newspaper at the time. And he said, can I come round and interview you and as part of the article? And we were like, oh yeah, absolutely. So the next Sunday after Burnley, he's in our house in Essex. It's like 9 o'clock Sunday morning and we're having a bacon roll with Clive Woodward.
Yeah, I just lived 2 minutes around the corner and Dan phoned me and said, you know, Sir Clive's here. And I was literally in the car round every second.
He was so good with us and he's so humble.
Really interesting.
So interesting, so fascinating. I remember what he said from that interview actually. He said, when you're tactically observing the opponent, find their biggest strength and really closely you'll find their biggest weakness.
Yeah,
do you remember?
Yeah.
And it always stuck with me, that point. And he's got so many, he's had like critical non-essentials, knows he's pointing in the same direction, loads of really clever leadership, I suppose.
There's others though, isn't there? There's other inspirational figures that have played a big part in that we take, you know, motivation from. I think you know, John Wooden as well, basketball.
Yeah, definitely.
Incredible you know, people to learn from and listen to, whether
Phil
it's on
Jackson.
podcasts or any reading that we can do in around those types of people. Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
And then in football, Eddie Jones. In football, I'd say, you know, Brendan Rodgers. Really impressed by the work that he's done in his career.
Eddie Howe.
Absolutely.
Spent some time with Eddie, didn't we?
That was
Christmas.
great. Yeah.
That was good.
He was
really
a great person to meet. And then obviously Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho's, Klopp, all of these guys at the top of the game are really.
I think that's what you try to do, don't you? You try to Ralph Rangnick, all these guys, they're the top coaches. You try to learn from them all. Stay really open-minded. Try to take little bits, but always put your own personality on it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Next question, Rob Green. What are the main differences between teaching PE and being a professional football coach? Also, do you miss being school teachers? I miss teaching every day. I love working with young people. I love the enthusiasm and energy that the young people bring, and I miss that every day. I obviously feel really fortunate to be involved in a sport that I love and being able to work professionally in a sport that I love. But without doubt, if I could have two lives, which I would love, I would definitely run them side by side and still teach and manage. What are the main differences? Well, I think, you know, be forever thankful for the journey that we've had, because I think, we've had the opportunity to practice and refine our skills out of the public eye, and had hours and hours on the grass with children in all different sports, and that's allowed us to make the mistakes. It's allowed us to learn our trade and develop our coaching and teaching skills, and find the best way for people to learn. And without that, I look at the top players now, and I have so much admiration for the likes of Steven Gerrard, Scott Parker, Frank Lampard, who finish playing and go straight into top level football management. That must be so tough, because you thought like a player, and when you're a player, you're programmed to think really selfishly, because you absolutely have to look after yourself, and you have to look after and prepare yourself physically and mentally, game after game after game. And then all of a sudden you finish playing, and then you become a coach or a manager, and you then have to think about yourself last, and think about everybody else first. And it's such a shift, and it amazes me how well some people can do it. But for us,
we're really grateful for those experiences that we had as teachers, because it gives you a chance to go and practice actually coaching, connecting with people, trying out ideas. You don't always get things right. You then review what you did and learn from that. And without that experience, it would be difficult to imagine where we would be now. And I'm really grateful that we had the opportunity to do that.
One of our best achievements would have been we were a little school in Rayleigh, Essex, and I think we were national champions 5 years on the trot in athletics. We went to the World Athletics Championships, come fourth in the world. Off the back of that, we won the State Sports School of the Year, and I think there's 3,600 secondary schools in the country, and we worked so hard with those kids, we didn't have any selection. We were just regular kids from Rayleigh, Essex, and they'd come in every morning. It was so rewarding to see these young people work really hard and achieve something that was beyond all of our wildest dreams, really. And I still look back in my life, and I look at, we've had great opportunities in football, and I'd be really proud of what we've achieved, but I go back to that time at Fitzwilmot at school. Definitely. And that would be right.
And
not
to forget as well, what is just as rewarding is all of the children that you've just helped and got them motivated into enjoying PE more, and taking opportunities and participating. So that was like one side of it in terms of achieving and getting great extracurricular success. But also, not to be forgotten, was the fact that you had the chance to try to just give
make
people that maybe
fun.
Children that maybe didn't like sport as much, just make it enjoyable and give them opportunities, and encourage them to enjoy your subject.
Definitely. Have you looked around the city much, and what are your thoughts? Jacob Wade. Well, we're living in Portsmouth. We live really close to the sea, don't we? We can see the sea from our apartment, and we didn't know we could see the sea until a couple of days ago, because we've been pretty full on. But it's been great. I actually went for a run down the seafront Wednesday. I've lost my days this week because it's planned on Friday. But no, so Wednesday I had a run, and it was lovely just to see the sea and the beach and so much green grass, which was great. And it's a really nice feeling about around the
when
people.
We're on our own, we go to the training ground, don't we? We stay here till late. We keep working because we have plenty on as well. To really motivate to move the team forward and to get to know the staff as well. But now we're to a place where actually, we have some school holidays coming, don't we? So that our wives and children are going to come up. So hopefully we'll be able to grab some little windows of opportunity to spend some real quality time with them and show them what Portsmouth is like. And
they can't wait. They can't believe we live so close to the sea. So we've never really lived close to the sea before, have we?
No, well, Betsy, my daughter, she was running around the house really excited about going to the beach.
Yes.
So
and we sent kits home. So Mark Catlin organised, and the staff organised for kits to go home to the kids. So they all got their Portsmouth kits. And Isabella had a non-school uniform day yesterday, and they still live in Lincoln, but she wore a Portsmouth kit, which she was really proud of. I think she got a bit of stick, but she can stick up for herself. So that was good. Right, very important question. James McCallan, favourite pizza?
Favourite pizza? Oh dear, not a burnt one. I'd say I'm going to go. Do you know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with a barbecue base, chicken supreme.
There you go. I'm going to go the same.
Half each.
Pineapple or no pineapple? That's what people always ask about pizza.
Go on.
If
we've won, put a bit of pineapple on it.
Go wild. How hard has it been driving your own ideologies into the boys after so long under a different coach? How good is this? This is from Jake Scaffold. That's a great question. You just answered a question about favourite pizza, and now you're asking a question about ideology. Or Jake, I think what we're really focused on doing is looking forward, and that's what we want the group to do. Our only ambition is to help the group and improve all of the players. I always think if you can improve every player, even 1%, then you're going to get a massive collective gain. We believe in the group. We think we've got some really good players. We really like their work ethic. We really like their humility. They're unbelievably coachable. So that has really helped us be able to start to get across the messages and the principles of how we want to play. And we've definitely made some good progress. I think we had a 35-minute spell in the Shrewsbury game in the first half where we looked a good team with some good rhythm and control. Our ambition is always the perfect performance, so you look for the 90-minute performance, and that's definitely what we're working towards. But what was great is that we actually had some tactical problems in the second half against Shrewsbury. We were able to come back on the grass on Monday and correct those, and because we're getting all of these different challenges and all of these different questions being asked, that's allowing us to be able to then make the training really relevant, make the training bespoke to the group, and get it to a position where we continually layer and add to and work towards our game model. And
what you've got to as well understand with the ideal is, we do have our ideas, but it's important that they're compatible with the players that we've got at our disposal. And that to me is really important, that we make sure we're aligned with the way that we see the game being played.
Success. We want to set the players up for success. We know how we want the game to be played. We know what we love to see. We think we've got a good idea of what the Portsmouth fans want.
Fortunately, a lot of the things that we really like to see, we feel that we can really work with the players.
We think the players are capable of doing that, which is great, and that is so important, because your job as a manager is to set the players up to have success. Now, we love fast attacking football. We want to be able to play aggressively against the ball and play with real energy and high intensity and win the ball back early. That is always our ambition, and then from there we want to get control of the rhythm and the dominance. And I think we're Portsmouth Football Club, and for me, I got asked the question where can Portsmouth go and what can they achieve? Well, I don't want to put any ceiling on what the club can achieve. I believe in this world that anything is possible. I believe only we control our destiny, and nobody else, in my opinion, gets that privilege. So let's stay really focused. Let's work really hard. Let's enjoy what we're doing, and I believe if we're together, then anything is possible for us. And that's what I say.
I agree.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the last question. So thank you very much for those questions. They were a really wide variety, and it was good fun.
Thank you.
Talking about it.
Looking forward to seeing you all.